Tomorrow, Windrose goes into early access. But is it worth your time and money? It sure is. For me, anyway. Stick around to the end for a bonus Q&A section. I'm Benny, and with over 60 hours into the early access version of the game already, my group and I have barely scratched the surface of what Windrose has to offer. I'm sure we could have gotten further along, but with so many side distractions, you're going to find that the game can utterly consume you if you let it. And you should let it. Windrose isn't complicated, unless you want it to be. It can be challenging, but it doesn't have to be. You can charge ahead, or take your time. I personally recommend you take your time. I mean, what's the hurry? Sit on a bench, watch the sunset. The building system is well designed and detailed, but pre-built structures are there for those who aren't interested in building a Buccaneer fortress. The flexibility in how you play the game is going to go a long way toward pleasing a lot of players. Sure, those looking for a sailing sim will likely be disappointed, but my group found that the ship controls felt realistic enough without being overly fiddly. And the ship variety and upgrade systems were fun without being a chore. You just have to assume your crew knows their jobs, and that's why you don't have to worry about wind direction and ocean currents. Quite frankly, I think the majority of people are going to be happy with the balance the game strikes between realism and quality of life with ships and ship combat. To quote one of my group members, I absolutely lose all sense of time when I'm cruising for exploration. Ship fighting is phenomenal. Great mechanics. I love the fact that storms and waves actually alter your course. I've been playing for several days both solo and with my co-op group. I found both modes felt just as good in every way. The POIs and quests are rewarding and varied enough to stay interesting, whether solo or in a group. The quest system has both non-group and group quests, and the latter can be turned off if you desire. The devs have said that there are over 90 handcrafted POIs in the game so far, scattered across 30 plus islands. And that's not counting the little unoccupied islands you come across that are often great for base building. I'm not sure what all has changed under the hood, but combat seems to be more balanced to different styles now. My group member Nate says guns don't feel overpowered. I haven't played a lot of pirate games, but I like the fact that muskets fire realistically. They seem to have increased the drop rate of gunpowder, by the way, since the demo, so there's a lot more to work with. Nate prefers heavy weapons and armor for a brute frontal assault. He's also kind of a tank. I personally still prefer rapier and pistol with a dodge build, which works well for me. My other co-op friend Bob has a crit build with a halberd for reach and the blunderbuss, which, as we know, works like a shotgun for close combat, heavy hitting. Add to all this the ability to adjust your combat difficulty to whatever feels good for you and your group, and I'm sure you'll be able to tune the game to your specific skill and comfort level. You can even edit the difficulty later as you become better at the game. So Windrose supports a lot of different playstyles. But what about enemies? My group has played a ton of zombie survival games, and quite frankly, we're just burned out on them. Windrose has zombies, but these zombies are varied in a way that makes them work like I haven't really seen in the past. They feel real and interesting. To quote my group member Nate again, the undead in this game feel better than most, not just cookie cutter zombies. He goes on to say, there's a huge variety of enemies to fight, with loads of different special attacks. Challenging, but very manageable as long as you don't go into a fight balls deep, which I tend to do. With animals, enemy pirates, mysterious undead monsters, boss fights, and more, I find combat to be fun and engaging, even though I have never been a Souls-like or Souls-light gamer. I found I was able to adapt and still have fun. Losing a fight isn't overly punishing, and as you get better, I find that the combat actually feels rewarding. Progression has been slowed a bit from what we saw in the demo, but it feels more balanced now. The demo moved you right along to give you a sense of how progression worked and to show you some more advanced combat systems and equipment. It's slowed down now, but it still doesn't feel like a grind to me. I like how it feels. It feels balanced. Resource gathering is another important part of the game. Resource respawn timers have been adjusted and function on real-world time, not in-game time. Same goes for crafting benches. Even on solo, you can mine out a cave, shut down the game completely, and come back in 6 hours to a full cave again. Have a ton of ore to smelt now? No problem. Load up the smelter, then shut down the game, go have dinner, and come back to completed crafting. Who does that? It's overwhelmingly obvious that quality of life is important to these devs right out of the gate, not something that's left to just improve upon later. In today's game dev culture, this just seems to be so rare. We saw it in the demo, but they haven't stopped there. They continued to polish a game that I was completely caught off guard by already when I first played the demo. When you arrive in Tortuga, you'll find it alive with NPCs, chatting and hanging about. Then you'll find various factions you can earn reputation with in order to unlock new shop items. Did I mention this is a survival crafting RPG with actual vendors, currency, and buyers? Without spoiling too much, all I can say is that I find the system well designed and a lot of fun to participate in. You can unlock recipes for items just by holding them. So when one person in your group goes out and buys or finds a new sword, pass it around. You'll all learn how to craft it. It may be a while before you have the resources to craft it, but I find it a lot of fun just to collect those recipes. It's things like this that really make me think that the devs built this game for the players, but also have a passion to play these types of games as well. There's a feeling of actually caring about what the customers want without just pandering to the loud minority. It's incredibly refreshing to see this much thought go into what the majority of players want right from the start. Obviously, you can't please everyone. But that's where Windrose gets it right. They don't try to please everyone. They're happy with pleasing most. Instead of stubbornly holding on to what wasn't going to work, they bravely spun that ship's wheel and headed to where the winds were taking them. And that, I believe, is what will take this game beyond where a lot of other games have failed. It's just speculation, of course, but I'm excited and hopeful to see where this leads. I've been scrolling on social media for the last few days collecting some questions. So let's do a Q&A to wrap this up. Question: will Windrose have private servers at launch? Yes, both self-hosted and through various hosting services. I'll have a G-Portal setup video launching at the same time as the game. Use my affiliate link in the description to pre-order and get 10% off on top of the 25% discount being offered right now at the time of this recording. My group has been playing on an early preview G-Portal server for several days, and it's been flawless so far. Next question. Will there be fishing? Because I hate. No matter how you feel about it, there's going to be fishing. If it is, however, in the early access version, we didn't come across it yet. Could be it's just further along. Are there female NPC pirates? Yep, and not just nameless filler NPCs. I won't spoil it, but it won't take you long to see what I mean. Question: how many players can be on the server at the same time? The primary experience is designed for 1 to 4 players. However, last I read, you can have up to 8. And you can set the difficulty of enemies and ships separately to scale to the number of players currently on. Do ships support multiple players? Yes, they do. And one can pilot, while the others can each control 1 battery of guns. Or you can each pilot your own ship to bring even more firepower. Can I keep playing from where the demo left off? Unfortunately not. The demo version was meant to showcase the game, but progression is different, and the early access version uses procedurally generated islands and loot to some extent, and among other little things that have changed. So there's just too many differences to make the saved worlds compatible. Question: is there farming? There sure is. It starts out as just with a few things like trees, bananas, and shrubs. But once you unlock the garden beds, you'll be in business. Food plays a big part in the game, but you certainly do not have to farm to have good food. What will happen to the demo once the early access game releases? The demo ends at the same time as early access launches. Do enemies scale with the number of players? As mentioned earlier, it's an option you can set. The default setting on normal difficulty is that each player scales with the enemies by 100%, but not the enemy ships. All this can be changed during your initial world setup and before each time you launch the world. Can I customize my ship? You sure can. There's more coming in the future, but for now, take the first ship, for example, the Ketch. It has 3 variations that focus on either a balanced ship, a high attack and speed but low defense, or a higher defense and cargo capacity with less attack. And each of those also has its own appearance. On top of that are hull colors and several different sail sets available, plus arms and armor you can upgrade. You can upgrade your cannons, hull plating, a tactics slot, and boarding gear. Plus there are several slots for hotkey items like combat repair kits. And now I have a question for you. Are you as excited about this game as I am? Or are there things you just can't overlook about the design or implementation? Please let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm really interested. My final verdict is that Windrose really checks off a lot of boxes for myself, my regular group, and tons of others I've talked to about the game. The excitement around this game is huge. I have really high hopes for this one, and so far it hasn't disappointed. Thanks to my channel members for your support. I truly hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Benny out.